Good afternoon and welcome to our monthly webinar. Thank you for joining us for the monthly statewide webinar. Of course, I'm Yomika Bennett, Executive Director of the New York Charter Schools Association, and I am joined today by Janet Klein, Associate in Education Research at NYSED, Catherine Connell Espinoza, Interim Director of the SUNY Charter Schools Institute. Welcome, Catherine. Erin Cochran, Deputy Executive Director, Policy and Operations at New York City DOE. And Corey Callahan, General Counsel and VP of Legal Policy at the New York City Charter School Center. We are thrilled to see everyone back and begin our monthly series of statewide webinars again for the 2022-2023 school year. Welcome back to those who have attended our webinars before. For those who are just joining us for the first time, welcome. We offer these monthly meetings to share relevant and timely information to the New York Charter School community. Many thanks and welcome back to our authorizers and partners. Looking forward to continuing our work for the school year. The association loves to promote and spotlight the great things that are happening at schools. The start of the year efforts at schools are at the top of our list. Please share your pictures and stories for the first days of school by tagging us on social media at NY Charter Assoc, and we'll drop that in the chat, or share your stories with us by emailing comms@nycharters.net. Now for the updates, and if you have questions, feel free to drop them in chat or raise a hand, and we'll open up for Q&A after the updates. So the association is excited to share some of our offerings and resources to support schools. Good information to know as we kick off the school year. We'll start with our working groups. The association offers a variety of working groups to bring various charter school stakeholders together. On August 23rd at 10 a.m., we'll be holding the first data working group meeting of the year. The community practice is designed for any school data managers or school leaders interested in enhancing their use and culture of data on their campus. Our first session in August will feature a panel of veteran school data managers as they share their best practices for building effective reporting systems and excelling in this important role. Registration for all for the 2022-23 school year meetings is being dropped in the chat. You'll see the link there. On September 22nd at 4 p.m., we will be hosting the first board member working group session. We welcome all board members to join this discussion group as they share their experiences and offer advice to address common challenges and develop skills in this crucial governance role. Registration for our full slate of bi-monthly meetings is being dropped in the chat. Please share these opportunities with your school board members. On September 30th at 10 a.m., our operations working group will launch. Each month, this community of practice will tackle a particular topic area crucial to effective school operations. The group will collectively work to share best practices and triage common problems that exist in this multifaceted role. Registration for our monthly meetings can be found in the chat. We're also collecting questions from operations leaders on the topics for each session. If you have questions, feel free to drop them in the form provided in the chat. Excuse me. We're in the midst of the election season. Next primary is August 23rd, and early voting starts August 13th. As you know, voting is a civic right and duty, and now is the time for the charter community to join the effort to get people registered and ready to vote. The association has several resources available for schools and community partners to join our GOTV campaign. Our team members will even host virtual or in-person sessions at your school. For more information, please visit our voting website. Of course, we're dropping the link in the chat. On our website, you can connect students, families, and staff to resources to register to vote or request an absentee ballot, as well as sign up for your school for one of our upcoming 30-minute informational webinars on voting. You can catch our next webinar on voting this evening at 6 p.m. or join the session on Thursday, August 11th at 12 p.m. If you have any questions about our GOTV program, you can email Natasha Cherry Perez. We are dropping her email into the chat. Our final update from the association is about this year's conference. We are a little over 2 months away from the 2022 New York Charter Schools Conference, which will be held in Buffalo. Come to the conference for the knowledge and networking, stay for the trip to the halls and tours of some of the great Buffalo charter schools. We, of course, are dropping a link in the chat to register for the conference. Hopefully you've all already registered. If you're not, register today. As always, association members receive complimentary attendance. If you have any questions about the conference, please email us at conference@nycharters.net. We're also putting a link in the chat for the conference submission form for anyone who wants to present at the conference. If you've already submitted, note that we plan to have a notification out by mid to late August so that we can share the full conference agenda with everyone in September. The deadline to submit presentation proposals is this Friday, August 12th at 5 p.m. If you have any questions about presenting at the conference, please reach out to Michael Good and he will drop his email in the chat. All right, that's it for all of our updates. I will now turn it over to the authorizers. I will make sure, though, I want to start, if we can, with Janet Klein, if she's on from SED at this point.
Well, let's actually start with SUNY, if possible.
Okay. All right. So we'll start with SUNY. We'll come back to Janet when she jumps on. Hi, Catherine. How are you?
I'm well. Thanks, Yumika. All right. I am first just going to start on a personal note and just say how honored I am to lead the SUNY Charter Schools Institute as interim executive director while we are on the hunt for our next permanent ED to lead the organization. I look forward to connecting with our schools in the weeks and months ahead. And as SUNY moves forward, my focus will be to continue to uphold the high standards and levels of support that each of you have come to know and expect. So please do not hesitate to reach out to me directly or anyone on the Institute team. And again, I do certainly look forward to connecting with folks. Other SUNY specific updates. SUNY, as a higher education institution, has announced an automatic waiver of the college application fees for all students at more than 500 high needs high schools statewide, wherein the students can apply to up to 7 SUNY schools free of charge. And to qualify for this, schools must have more than 75% of their population eligible for free and reduced price lunch on a 3-year rolling basis. More information is going to be coming out very soon by SUNY System Administration, and our Director of Communications, Mike Lazinski, and I are going to work with the charter schools to make sure that this information gets out there to everybody as well. So that's some exciting news for our high schools. Our finance team just wants to make sure that we are reminding folks that if you have received notification from NYSED and the Institute that you do not yet have a unique entity identifier number on file, that you must follow NYSED's directions on how to obtain the number from the feds and share that number with NYSED so that your federal funds that have been placed on hold can in fact be released. If you have any questions for folks in our office, please don't hesitate to reach out to Barb Acknow or Connor LeClaire. They're always willing to help. Update is SUNY renewal applications are due August 15th, and those all come in via Epicenter. We are happy to accept your applications earlier if they are ready. And folks should have also received an email communication establishing both the renewal visit dates and any other interim or potential alternative dates for the fall. If you don't have those dates or haven't received that communication, please reach out to our office. Jenna Wilkinson will have sent that information. I'm going to go ahead and put her contact information in the chat in just a moment for folks. So renewal schools, if you have not heard yet from Jenna, please do reach out. Reminder for all SUNY charters is the accountability plan progress reports are due to the Institute on September 16th. We are looking forward to the state's assessment data being released with enough time before that to allow for cogent analysis between the two. If that release date ends up leaving little time, we will likely be flexible with our due date for submission of the APPR. And we will continue to keep folks informed about that if the due date does change. Also, if there are other factors that are challenging in your ability to submit the APPR by September 16th, please do reach out to Sinjin Bucknell on our team, and we will consider adjusting those due dates on a case-by-case basis as we have in the past. We want to continue to encourage folks to report out on both the norm referenced and internal assessment results, in addition to that state assessment information. You know, the state assessment results are very important, but so are the other data that can really triangulate the evaluation of the information. So please be sure to get that information in. I'm going to add the contact information in the chat, and then I am going to hand it off to Erin for your updates.
Thanks, Catherine. Is Janet on? Should we bump back to Janet?
Nope, you can go ahead.
All right, I like it.
Yeah.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. So happy to be here, knowing that many of you are starting very soon, and we are already in back to school mode, and it's very exciting to be here with you. Before I dive into our announcements, I wanted to make one announcement related to a leadership transition on our team. Anjali Matos, who really wanted to be here, but unfortunately is under the weather, she is transitioning out to pursue her education doctorate. Her last day is on Friday. So you'll see more information in the Charter School Weekly today. We are sending her off with lots of love and well wishes. She has just been such a guiding light in this office. So after Friday, I will be assuming the role of interim acting senior executive director. So if you've gone to Anjali for things in the past, you can come to me and I can continue to support. And I'm just very much looking forward to continuing to support all of the schools that are on this call. All right, a couple of other quick announcements. So first off, we want to thank the New York City Charter School Center and all of the schools that participated in our boot camp last week. Very well attended. We thought that folks were really contributing their own expertise to the sections. So those recordings and PowerPoints should be going out soon. And we look forward to supporting you with lots of other trainings in this upcoming school year. One important announcement for all New York City charter schools, regardless of authorizer, and you'll see this in the Charter Schools Weekly addendum we're sending today, is that it is very important that you have crosswalked your students correctly to the right class code, and that those class codes are aligned to the right building and OPT code. This has always been an important thing, and schools that haven't done it may have seen impacts to transportation, but their nursing teams are beginning to use this data as well. So it's really important that you are telling us through ATS where each student is located so that we're able to give them the right service in each building. And so more information is coming out about that in the C Weekly as well. And that is what I have. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Corey.
Great. So I would be remiss. I told Anjali this morning I'm mad that she's not joining this call, because I do think those of us who have worked New York City charters, Anjali's been in the sector a long time, whether she was at the DOE, then she was at some charter schools, and she went back to the DOE. So it will be a big loss for us. She has been a great partner. I'm sure every person on this call who is a New York City charter school has had a conversation or email exchange with Anjali at some point in the last, she'll hate me for saying this, probably 10 years, Erin, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I figured. So anyway, if you have a moment this week, I'm so sorry she couldn't join. Please drop her an email, because yes, she will be missed. Erin is phenomenal, as you all know, but having someone in the sector with that much knowledge, who knows the school side, also knows the DOE side, it will be a big transition. And so we're very happy for her to become Dr. Matos. I told her she has to come back and join. She'll be, really can be in the education world as Dr. Matos, but we're very excited for her. But yes, it's a big transition. So I just had to say that. The only other thing I wanted to put on folks' radars is we do have the DOH-DOE call, putting it in the chat. Erin has very amazingly made it so you just have to register once, and then you get all the calendar updates for like basically the fall semester. So please, if you joined for the last call, you're all set. But if you need it, just the link's in the chat, and the center will send out something next week reminding folks. I know that there are not a lot of answers and/or guidance on health guidelines for the fall, but I know folks like to check in, and we will have the experts from the Department of Health. If you do have questions, or even just, please submit them in advance, just things you're considering or anything like that. We want to continue to support schools, even though as we are moving on from most of the COVID time stuff. So that's all, and I'll see you all soon. Janet, are you on? I'm supposed to pass it to you.
I don't think she's joined yet, so.
Okay, back to you.
Okay, great, thank you. And I know there was an important update on Teach. Let's see. I'm gonna ask everybody to hang on one second to see if we have that update ourselves that we can provide ourselves. I know that Janet wanted to make sure that we did have this information about the Teach system and the fingerprinted background there. So the information I have here is that we got a couple of questions regarding the Teach system. There are some schools who are having issues either accessing or essentially getting into the system or response to the system regarding some of the fingerprinting and background checks. I was getting a little nervous since we were very close to the start of school year. And Janet wanted to let us know that, make sure that everyone was aware that there are no systematic or systemic issues with the Teach system. Any school that has had any issues, they are resolved. If that's not the case, please reach out to Teach again so they can get to your issues. And then in general, with no criminal history, there will be no automatic clearance. With no criminal history, there will be, an automatic clearance within 24 hours from the time the Office of School Personnel Review and Accountability receives the fingerprint response. Until the covered school and/or the Office of Teaching Initiatives can view the status and Teach. So if there's no criminal history, there will be an automatic clearance within 24 hours. Look at if there is a criminal history or if the fingerprints are rejected, then the resolution of the fingerprint clearance, obviously, of course, will take longer. Additional clearances are not a solution for schools having technological challenges, i.e. if you're having a problem with the technology, you're not going to get conditional clearance. Those are issues that the conditional clearance are issued by SED for prospective employees who have passed a New York State background check, but have not been cleared by the federal government. This situation is usually precipitated by poor quality fingerprints, and the clearance is good for 45 days. Emergency conditional clearances are also not a solution for technological problems. Again, if you're having a problem accessing the system for any reason, emergency conditional clearance will not be the solution for you. The emergency conditional clearance are rarely, if ever, used. The exception was created for schools that have adopted a mandatory safety policy and that are schools that are unable to wait for a clearance from SED due to an unforeseen vacancy. And that is described as occurring less than 10 days before the start of any school session, when no other qualified individual is available, and what is necessary to maintain services which the district is legally required to provide to protect the health, education, and safety of students or staff. So truly an emergency and in very narrow circumstances. That's what makes an emergency conditional appointment for prospective employee eligible. Emergency conditional appointments may be made only in certain limited circumstances and have a 20-day duration. The prospective employee must send his or her fingerprints to NYSED for processing and must provide the prospective employer a signed statement indicating whether, to the best of his or her knowledge, he or she has a pending criminal charge or criminal conviction in any jurisdiction outside of New York State. If any schools are experiencing challenges with fingerprint clearances, Teach, or any other NYSED process, please reach out to Janet or SED. And Janet, if you reach out to Janet, she will connect you to whatever the proper office or area is to get your situation resolved. I want to add to that, all of that we also have resources on our website. regarding Teach and the conditional clearances, et cetera. And we are dropping a link to that information on a resource center in the chat. And I want to open it up because although I just shared all the information, I am far from being the expert. And I know that there are some folks here, Aaron in particular, who may have some more information. So I just want to give you the opportunity if you want to add, correct. I think what I said, I'm sure is right. But if you want to add and add some flourishing details to that, please do.
I don't think I have anything significant to add other than just reinforcing the fact that if you are having difficulty getting a clearance, that's probably for a reason that is not eligible for one of these conditional clearances. We've definitely had schools that just kind of implemented them locally, and that's not a thing that's happening. So I would say that you probably shouldn't have any of these in your school, or if you do, you should be looping in your authorizer so they're aware of the situation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see. It's in the chat, the conditional, emergency and conditional clearance resources. There's a question here, hi Stacy, regarding open meetings law. There is an update on open meetings law. It's the last email that I sent out to everyone, and I apologize, I do not have the date for the extension right now. And the last one was August 14th. Thank you very much. So we don't have anything on the upcoming one. As has happened before, they tend to come out the day before. So I will look for the most recent update if there's something that's come out between now and that, I think that was issued on July 15th. It takes us to the 14th. Look to see what's out there now or what's on the horizon. I don't see any more questions in the chat. Any hands raised? Any other questions, comments, suggestions, or concerns? All right. Seeing none, I'm going to thank everybody for joining us today. I want to add too that we will miss Susie Anjali and wish them very, very well, but we are in very good hands with you, Catherine and Aaron, so we're glad for that. Very grateful. Thank you everyone for joining us today. As always, we will post today's recording in the Resource Center on our website. Our next webinar is Tuesday, September on the 11th. Monthly webinars are made possible through the contribution and commitment of our member schools. We appreciate the ability to host these forums for the full New York Charter School community. If you are not a member of the association, we encourage you to join today by emailing memberships@nycharters.net. We wish you all a very successful start to the 2022-23 school year. Please reach out to us if you have any questions or need something from us in the meantime. Be well.